These two are the best off-roaders you can buy below rupees 20 lakh in India. Say hello to the Maruti Jimny and the Mahindra Thar. Which one is best suited for your requirements? Let's find out through a very comprehensive comparo. We took the Mumbai-Pune expressway and headed to Rajmachi for an off-road trail. The idea was to put these two SUVs through similar obstacles and a mix of different terrains. The rain gods also surprised us in the latter part of this shoot. We first decided to drive these two SUVs in two-wheel drive mode on this uneven patch at the highest possible speed. The idea was to compare the grip levels, steering feedback, engine responsiveness and braking on such terrain. I drove the Mahindra Thar first. We have the turbo petrol car which makes a lot more power than the Jimny, but the Thar is also much heavier. I had a good start, but while taking tight turns a little fast, I could feel all the body weight of the Thar. It has a wide turning radius and I could feel all the bumps in the cabin. I was hoping to not break my back. The Thar did impress me with its performance, but I felt the brakes to be a little spongy. The 80 tires had very nice grip. It was now time to drive the Jimny. Despite being underpowered compared to the Thar, I actually enjoyed driving the Jimny a lot more. It felt more agile, had better visibility, and the lightweight actually made it very interesting. The highway terrain tires didn't offer the kind of grip I expected, and the Jimny even slid a little, but hey, it was damn fun. The turning radius is quite large on the Jimny too, but the ride is much better than the Thar and even the brakes are sharper. Before moving on to the next section of the trail, we had to drive over this small bump. The Thar cleared it in two-wheel drive mode. It had just rained, which is why the surface was slippery. The Jimny eventually got stuck and had to be slotted into 4-low to clear this patch. The Thar has a claimed water weighting capacity of 600 millimeters, while the Jimny has a claimed capacity of 300 millimeters. However, in reality, both of these off-roaders can do enough water weighting, and even the Jimny can tackle this as much as the Thar can. The rain gods now decided to surprise us, and it was pouring heavily. Visibility became limited, the terrain became more slippery, and we started having more fun. We pushed these off-roaders hard, and it was impressive to see both of them take quite a beating without any complaint. We soon reached the next portion of our trail. Here I decided to drive the Jimny first, slotted it into 4-low and off I went. I found it very easy to tackle this trail in the Jimny because of the compact size of the car. It felt responsive enough, and the only thing I wished was better was the tire grip. The Jimny didn't touch anywhere, and the LED headlights plus halogen fog lamps were also quite useful. I now took the Thar over this trail. Again, slotted it into 4-low, and the Thar felt right at home on this trail. The bigger size may feel intimidating to someone who is new to off-roading, but the Thar eases itself onto any sort of terrain without much ado. It performed really well here too, but the rear bumper suffered a small hit while getting out of one of the larger bumps. The halogen headlamps may look basic, but they offer great visibility. The best part about the Jimny and the Thar is the fact that in the aftermarket, you get a lot of potential for modifications to dial up their capabilities even more. Size matters, and the Thar is much bigger than the Jimny and also has much better road presence. But that doesn't mean that the Jimny goes unnoticed, because that also draws a lot of eyeballs on the road because of its unique design and bright colors. The Jimny is 3985mm long including the spare wheel, while the Thar is 3985mm long excluding the spare wheel. The wheelbase of the Jimny is 190mm longer than the wheelbase of the Thar, while the Thar is actually wider by 175mm and taller by 124mm. I'm at the wheel of the Mahindra Thar first, and this car has 3 engine options: 2-litre petrol, 2.2-litre diesel and 1.5-litre diesel. The 1.5 is offered only with 4x2 configuration and no automatic. The 2-litre petrol is offered with 4x2 and 4x4, and the 2.2 diesel only with 4x4. The one I'm driving right now is the M Stallion petrol engine, making 150 horsepower and 320 Newton meters with the automatic gearbox, 6-speed automatic gearbox, torque converter, and the performance is mind-blowing on the Thar petrol. Yes, it drinks a lot of fuel. Realistically, you can expect 7 to 9 kilometers per liter. That's it. Yes, fuel consumption is much lower on the diesel Thar, but the performance on this is very engaging. Now, what I don't like about the Thar is the fact that this car moves around way too much. On the highway, about 80 kilometers per hour, there is a noticeable amount of body pitch, and sometimes over bad roads, you will feel that the ride is a little unlivable, and honestly, I would suggest people to get an aftermarket suspension if your budget allows. There are a ton of options available, and they noticeably improve the ride quality of the Thar, making it more practical, more comfortable, and more livable. The Jimny in comparison has a much better ride quality, and it feels so much better, so much easier to drive, and very comfortable on our roads. The Thar, however, has amazing road presence, but you might be noticing in the frame right now how much the car is moving around. As far as the diesel engine of the Thar goes, again, the diesel engine is quite nice. It has a good blend of efficiency and performance, and my pick would be the diesel, but that one is known to have some DPF issues. So some people have reported that if you want to stay away from that, get the Thar petrol. Only thing is that the fuel consumption will be a little on the higher side. The steering has good heft over here. It feels a little heavy at low speeds, definitely. At high speeds also, it offers good confidence to the driver, but somehow I feel that the driving feel of the Thar could be a little more polished. So I've driven the Thar, and now I'm in the driver's seat of the Maruti Suzuki Jimny, and trust me, I have been driving this car in Mumbai since the last 3-4 days, and the more I drive it, the more I start liking this car. I start loving this car because it is so good, so well engineered, and kudos to Suzuki for launching this car in India, and first of all, kudos to them for actually making something like this. It is indeed the GOAT of the off-road segment, greatest of all time, and carries ahead the legacy of the Maruti Gypsy that we all know. Now, the engine of the Jimny 1.5 litre K15B, not K15C, is a little underpowered. 105 horsepower is what it makes, and if you drive on the highway, if you want to make some quick overtakes, you'll have to plan your maneuvers a little bit in advance, but for normal driving, I think this one does the job well. Talking about mileage, don't expect more than 10-11 kilometers per litre with the Jimny, and of course you might get slightly better on longer highway drives, but who buys an off-roader for mileage? You buy it for fun, and trust me, you will have oodles of fun with this car. Now, when I drove the Jimny for the first time, I was of course very impressed. I'm a big fan of the Thar also, but I felt few things could be better. But now when I spend more time with this car, I've realized that the ride quality is so much more livable compared to the Thar. The car of course moves around a fair bit, but it is softer, more comfortable over bad roads, and a lot of stuff does not get filtered inside the cabin. The steering, however, is lifeless on the Jimny. No feel or feedback whatsoever. Imagine if Suzuki would have given a better feeling steering, things would have been so much better. But the kind of fun that the Jimny offers is on another level. Now, the Thar has a better automatic gearbox, 6-speed torque converter. Jimny has an old 4-speed torque converter, which is not very fast also. It is more for smoothness and convenience. So you can buy the Jimny automatic if you want. You won't go wrong with it, but buy the manual if you want to have fun, and I'm sure all of you want to have fun, because the clutch on this car is also very light. The travel is shorter than that of the Mahindra Thar, and the gear shifts, of course, they remind you of the Gypsy. The clunky mechanical feel is present over here. So yeah, that's about it. Jimny चलाने में बहुत मजा आया, off the road also and on the road also. The Thar has more nosedive when braking hard, while the Jimny feels more stable. Both of them have similar stopping distances, but the bite feels sharper on the Jimny. The Jimny has a rear view camera and better outward visibility, which means parking it is easier. However, because of the large turning radius, taking tight turns isn't as easy as hatchbacks or pseudo SUVs, but it is just a matter of getting used to. The Thar gets only parking sensors and not a camera. Visibility is also a little limited, but just like the Jimny, it does have a heavy steering and large radius, but once you get used to it, it's not much of an issue. Sitting in the driver's seat of the Mahindra Thar, and it is so much bigger than the Jimny. It is very wide over here, and the quality of the materials is decent. It is actually very sturdy, waterproof over here, and some bits could be a little more premium in terms of appearance and fit and finish. Now, the Thar has all the basic features, but it misses out on a lot of equipment. There's no reverse camera, there's no auto dimming RVM, there is no start stop button, there's no automatic climate control. The Thar also does not have LED headlights, but the Jimny has LED headlights also. But apart from that, the cabin does feel quite nice. The screen is a 7-inch unit with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, only wired, no wireless, and again, responsiveness is nice. User interface is basic, and you get 4 speakers, 2 tweeters, 2 speakers on the roof, 2 tweeters on the roof, and 2 tweeters on the lower part of the dashboard. Sound quality is decent, not all that great. So that's about it for the Thar's interior. The driving position makes you feel like a king of the road. Amazing view ahead, and it is a very commanding driving position. You tower above all the cars, so that does feel quite nice. Sitting in the cabin of the Jimny now, and the driving position is actually quite nice on this also. Nice view of the bonnet, good view of the surroundings outside, and of course this is quite small compared to the Thar, and the width is also a little on the narrower side, but it feels very sturdy and robust over here. Lots of features: automatic climate control, start stop button, 9-inch screen, and you get 4 speakers, no tweeters on this car, manual day night RVM, and there's a mirror on the right hand side also on the Jimny, so that's a nice thing. The mirrors are big in size, and overall the driving position is something really ergonomic. So all the ergonomics actually quite nicely sorted, and I like the feel of this manual gear shift over here. Reminds me of the original Gypsy. Front seat is nice, slightly bigger on the Thar, and the support is good on this, but again it is slightly better on the Thar. But apart from that, actually no complaints with the Jimny. The more time you spend with this car, the more you start liking it for its practicality and ease of use. Off-road performance is important, on-road performance is important, but how is the rear seat comfort and practicality on both the SUVs? Let's start off with the Thar, and this is how you pull the seat ahead. No rear doors unfortunately, but the Thar 5-door is coming soon. That will be expensive. Not a very pleasant experience going over here. Rohit? So we are sitting in the rear seat of the Thar first. How's the experience getting in?
Getting in was easy for me at least, but senior citizens उनको problem हो सकती है.
I think हाँ मतलब families के लिए थोड़ा impractical हो जाता है यहाँ पे. And coming to the seat itself is decent actually. Under thigh support could be better. And leg space is fine, headroom is fine, 2 adjustable headrests, you get a proper seat belt, window doesn't open, and no bottle holders, cup holders, nothing at all. Apart from that, the wheel well is intruding over here, so the leg space gets a little limited, and you don't have an armrest, so you have to just keep your arm on the wheel well.
यहाँ पे plastic covers दे सकते थे, ये थोड़ा cheap quality लगता है.
हाँ, they could have probably given it a more polished appearance over there, and yeah, feels sturdy though everything. Time to check out the second row of the Jimny. Thankfully you get rear doors, so getting in is actually easy, and yeah, this car is small. So we are now seated in the Jimny, and even though this car is smaller, it actually has more space at the back, and it is more comfortable over here. Under thigh support is lacking on this car also though. What are your thoughts?
अच्छा है, यहाँ पे एटलीस्ट आर्मरेस्ट जैसा है, डोर हैंडल जो है उस पे हाथ रख सकते हैं. हेडरूम इज ओके, इट्स गुड.
Headroom is actually quite nice. Knee room is also comparable to the Thar, and getting in and out is easier thanks to the door. The window is small in size, but it thankfully opens, and it's actually a pleasant experience over here. No leatherette upholstery, only fabric, very basic fabric actually, could be better. And yeah, 2 adjustable headrests, 50-50 split function for the seat, same as the Thar. Apart from that, I guess that's about it. No features as such, no bottle holders, cup holders, nothing over here, but you get 2 bottle holders in the middle portion over here, and that's about it. No armrest in the middle.
There's another thing, इसके seat belt reminder, this doesn't have load sensors, so even if you're sitting behind or if no one is sitting behind, वो बजते ही रहता है continuously.
Yeah. So even if no one is sitting at the back, अगर आपने seat belt नहीं लगाया, the sensor will keep ringing for 1.5 minutes 90 seconds. So you'll have to keep the seat belt fastened even if no one is sitting at the back. So they could have just added a weight sensor over there. Time to compare the boot space capacity of these SUVs. I have my measuring tape with me, and let's open the Thar first. It is a 2-step process. Open this first and then open the glass area, and oh my god, the boot is super duper tiny. So how is the depth? The depth is just 14 inches, and the height of this is coming up to 36 inches. What is the width of this? The width comes up to 43 inches. So you can keep probably a couple of small duffel bags. That's it. If you want more space, you'll have to fold the rear seat by pulling this thing. But the seats don't fold completely flat. So you can have a look at this. This is how the seats fold. Moving on to the Jimny. Coming to the Jimny, this one has hydraulic strut. So it opens up very easily like this. And the boot is so much more usable compared to the Thar. Let's see how's the depth of this. The depth is 23 inches. The height is 33 inches. And the width is 37.5 inches. Very usable space over here. You get a charging port also and a boot lamp over here. Apart from that, You can of course fold the rear seat, and this is the kind of space you get. It is now time for a bottle holder test. Let's see how many 1 liter bottles can you fit inside the Jimny and the Thar. In terms of safety features, the Thar gets 2 airbags while the Jimny gets 6 airbags. The common safety features on both of these off-roaders are ABS with EBD, hill start assist, hill descent control and ISO fixed child seat mounts. Meanwhile, the Thar also gets TPMS, which is missing on the Jimny, and the Thar also gets adventure statistics on the touchscreen infotainment system. The Thar also has a 4-star safety rating from Global NCAP, while the Jimny 5-door has not been tested yet. So which off-roader should you buy? Now the Mahindra Thar can be yours for rupees 12.73 to rupees 20.34 lakh on road Mumbai. The entry point is lower because Mahindra is offering a rear-wheel drive variant which Maruti will not offer on the Jimny, thankfully. Now the Thar is quite big in size, intimidating. It is more powerful than the Jimny, but it misses out on some important features. The rear seat is small, the boot space is tiny, and it is not very practical on a day-to-day basis if you want something as your primary car. Coming to the Jimny, this can be yours for rupees 14.91 to rupees 17.58 lakh. Yes, this is also a little on the pricey side, not really value for money, and this one is small in size compared to the Thar. This has much lesser power also. The engine does feel underpowered on the highways, but this has a usable second row seat. This has more boot space. This has lot more features than the Thar, and into day-to-day scenarios, the Jimny fits much better compared to the Thar. So if you want an off-roader which also doubles up as a primary car, get the Jimny. If you want something in addition to your regular cars, get the Thar. Both of them have amazing potential for modifications also. So that's about it from my side. Now, after driving these SUVs back to back, my love and admiration for both of them have gone up by leagues. So that's it, folks. What is your pick out of these two? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you guys very soon. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the MotorBeam channel.